guys, how's it going? Onich here, and welcome to a new series. It is, well, it's basically a refreshment of the old series, and it is thanks to two new content for rFactor 2. The Honda NSX, which we see right here, and, well, I call it the Top Gear test track. The rFactor developers, so ISI, call it something like, what is it again? It's on the buildings, hang on. There it is, Tiger Moth Aerodrome. You have a few layouts, but I'm going to use the Top Gear one, which is well, quite famous, I would say. Some people might know it, some people might not know it, but there was a series on the channel before where there was a modded Top Gear track where I did some lap times and I had this leaderboard with several cars. Basically, I'm going to refresh that, and I'll explain that during this video why. But I'm here to give a review of, well, this car, the Honda NSX, and put in a lap time at the end of the video with it. First of all, let's just go out and drive for a little bit. So, welcome to the series. Let me explain first what I'm planning on doing. Basically, every time I see a quality mod or just content made by ISI themselves, I drive it around this Top Gear test track. I give a little of an impression, and at the end of every video then I'm going to put a quick lap time with it on the equal settings. So that means the same temperature, same humidity, stuff like that, same real road. Real road means the rubber, so it's all equal and fair. And then at the end, hopefully we will have a lot of cars on that board. Now, I did this before, and well, this is a little bit of a different format, and I'll explain later why, but I did this before. And I'm not going to transfer the times which I put in there with the several cars to this new series. And why not? Well, the track which I used there was modded, you know. This is originally created by ISI, and well, thanks to that, it's probably a little bit different. Maybe different grip levels. Wow. Wow, that looked very rubbish. I'm a noob. Apologies for that. Holy shit. That's a big wake-up call for me. What was I talking about, though? Oh yeah, it would be unfair. Maybe the grip levels are different. I don't know, but still. I feel like doing this, you know, again, all over again, but then with a new template of the series themselves. Because what I want to do is first of all drive for 25 minutes long. And we still have 21 minutes left, as you can see at the bottom right of the screen. And do a few laps then, and give an impression of the car. And after that, as said, put in a good lap time. So that is pretty much my idea with this series, and I hope you guys like it. Any feedback, of course, is much appreciated. But onto the car. Today we are driving the Honda NSX, which is which was released yesterday actually by ISI, the rFactor 2 developers, and I think it is somewhat created from rFactor 2, rFactor 1 mod, which was made by Niels Heusingveld. Well, he was part of the modding community there. I think he did probably time model or physics, maybe, because I know he's really into physics. Yes, I do watch Niels' his videos. I really enjoy them. He did the physics, probably, maybe tire model, maybe more, and that mod got received so well within rFactor 1. It was one of the best mods, really, in a lot of drivers' their opinion. Same for me, it was a great mod. But yeah, now ISI have developed their mod for rFactor 2 with the Honda NSX, and it is very nice. And I must say that this mod came with so many adjustments for the car. It was unreal, really. I mean, you can have these headlights in front of your car. You can have them faced upwards. You can flap them down like I've done for this video. You also have different transmissions, 4-speed gearbox, 5, 6, Japanese, USA, something like that. Was it Japanese? I think so. And then engine, but tires and stuff like that. But I'm running basically on the biggest engine, 6-speed transmission, even though I'm not even using that 6 gear around this track. But still, using new tires, the new suspension. I'll show you at the end of the video, if I don't forget it, what kind of adjustments I run on this car. But this car though is really, really awesome. It comes, I think, from the 90s, and it's just amazing really how it drives, how it handles. It's of course a street car, which I don't think there are a lot of street cars in rFactor 2 yet. Of course there are some mods out there, I'm sure about that. But this is really the first street car, at least on my channel, where I really go in depth on, you know. One thing which I noticed is that it's incredibly sharp with the turning. It really is very, very responsive, and same for the throttle. If you put a little bit of throttle down, it's already very responsive, and you can really feel how hungry the engine is for, well, just convincing you and impressing you with all the power it has. It really is something amazing, and this is so far one of the best mods created by ISI for this game, so props to them and compliments also for the track, because the track is also very nice. And well, the car though really stands out for me. It is very nice to drive, very awesome. It might look right now all smooth and stable the way I'm driving it, but you can definitely, and it's actually quite easy, sorry, to overdrive this car. It really is. It gets understeery very quickly on the positive throttle, so when you put the power down, and at the same time it can be quite understeery at some locations where you of course put the power down too much. It's also a very nice car to drift with, as you have probably seen so far. Especially on corner entries, sometimes the backhand really likes to step out on you. But I think it's a pleasure to drive this car. I really do. This first corner here is very, very tricky. Very tricky entry, as well, you basically brake in another corner, which especially in this car so far does kick, let the rear end kick out a little bit. Same for that corner, very hard to slow the car down. And now down to Hammerhead. It's taking a little bit easy at the moment, getting a feel for it. So yeah, I'm interested to see where the series can bring me. I think it needs some kind of push in the back really to kick off and you know, start to really be a big series, because I really do feel like this could be a good series for the channel, which hopefully gets a lot of attention from people who haven't yet subscribed to me. But that's of course a different story. I'm here to talk about this car. But it feels so nice, and it feels so natural as well. That's the thing which I like so much. 22.8, that's a good lap time. It feels really, really, how do you call it? So natural, and why? It's hard to describe as well. But well, let's face it this way: it just feels right. That's it. It really does feel right. Force feedback is, for me, it's quite light. I don't know if there are other people out there or whether it's just my force feedback settings. It is pretty light, but it definitely does the job, and I can still, you know, tune it if I don't like it. But as always, the force feedback in the rFactor 2, it's amazing, and this car is no exception. You really feel in control of the car with everything you do. And every moment you have with the car. So let's say there I went wide, but even that just feels right, and you can understand it very well what the car is doing. Physics wise, it is great, really. You really feel connected with the car, and that's why I, you know, just said, you really feel like you can understand the car. Look at that. Huge drift into that corner. Wasn't a quick way around there, but definitely the most fun. One thing so far with this Top Gear test track, in my opinion, it lacks some camera point of views. But maybe that's my opinion. Also, the reason I think, or what would make sense, they have called it Tiger something aerodrome, is because of licensing, probably. Oops. You saw that? It just gave a little bit of throttle between those corners and just kicked the rear end out. But you feel in total control of the car, really. Look at this, I can just kick the rear end out, but still, you know, make it slide without really any big issues. Oops, oops, oops. Oh, that was close. That was a little bit too much. Yeah, especially on the corner entry sometimes, like here, it just starts to slide a lot. But I love it, it's really nice. Oops. So, as I mentioned, this car comes with a lot of configurations. And so, yeah, it's amazing what ISI have done. They've done a great job for sure. No doubt about that. So far, actually, it's one of the most fun cars to drive. I can imagine watching it that it doesn't all look that spectacular and stuff, maybe. Well, I can understand, but you know, from a driver point of view, it really is nice. I mean, yes, it's not the quickest car. Yes, it's not a formula car. It's a street car. But for a street car, it's incredibly fun to drive, actually. Probably should have shifted up there, but well, I just wanted to keep it in second and keep it drifting as I turn into that corner way too late. Way too late. As you can see there, also the airplane right over there. Nice detail. Look at this. It's just amazing. Really, it is a lot of fun to drive. So with this series, I would like to run the car setups as default as possible. So make no changes to car setup, except maybe for like RPM, you know, get the car really maxed out on that. But yeah, furthermore, I think it's best to leave it at default. I mean, a car might be faster than another car using a good setup. I don't know, I just don't feel like doing so. I would like to just keep everything default and then put in a lap time, you know? I'm sure you guys can understand that. Just kick the rear end out. Well, that was a little bit too much, wasn't it? It is not the ideal drift car, no way it is. But it just starts to slide on corner entry like a lot. You can compromise that by usually giving a little bit more throttle, like a little squirt of throttle. Might sound weird, but for me it helps, especially at the low RPM. Brake a little bit later. See, this corner here just unsettles the car. You come into that corner pretty much drifting already. It's gonna be hard to nail that corner for a quick lap time, which we will set in 10 minutes time. But what a pleasure to drive it though. once again, it feels so natural. The inputs you do and you make on this car just feels so natural that you're going to understand what's going to happen, and it all does make sense. So I'm going to avoid that barrier there. The tire, well, it's not really a barrier, is it? It's just a couple of tires put up there. But still, very, very nice experience. Let's have a look at the different camera point of views, if we can. There's the wheels. Let's actually have a look at the suspension here. It seems like it's quite soft, which would make sense, of course. It's a street car, and that might explain the understeer sometimes you get as well. Look at that. You can see the corner turn in right now. It was too early. Well, yeah, look at the tire. And that was not a great idea. It's also a beautiful car, I must say. The design is probably a little bit old. I mean, it comes from the 90s, yeah, but this car doesn't seem to get old, you know. It is it's a great car. Looks beautiful as well. So the engine I'm running with the configuration is a 3.6 liter, and I go off. And the track, as I said, you can run different layouts, different configurations of this track as well. It goes, well, you can go much further than this. I think you can even go straight on where the airplane is right now. So yeah, you can run several configurations, which is nice as well. Let's see how much time we have left. 7 minutes left, so let's do another couple of laps and have some more fun, like so. Oops, tried to make a drift there. I miserably failed. She just at one point it starts to understeer mid corner. It is very slidey on corner entry though, which I absolutely love about this car. Oops. That corner isn't really possible drifting through there with the angle I approached it, thanks to that tire barrier being there. And we spun. Good engine sound coming from this car. Sounds are okay-ish. Not the best, but definitely not the worst either. They sound very, they sound very good. Very decent. And one thing which you can also notice in terms of sound is just the tires squeezing the whole time. But it's a street car once again, so the tires are pretty okay-ish to handle it. I mean, first time I was driving this car, I was like, whoa, those tires are squeezing so much, and I was very afraid that I was going to wear them out after 2 laps or something like that, but actually they are okay. So that's not really a problem. There we go, the rear tires are starting to wear a little bit right now, but not too much, but of course that's because of my stupid drifting and having too much fun. Because it is so fun to drive it. It really is. And once again, it's quite easy to overdrive it, and that's not how you should approach this car, in my opinion. Very sideways. That's not really how you should approach this car, in my opinion. You just need to build up your pace, you know, drive smooth laps, being consistent, and then every lap get a little step higher until you have reached your max. Whoa. That was a bit too much. 4 minutes left. This hammerhead corner is really tight, and it's very, especially in a car like this, which of course is it's a street car again, so it doesn't have a lot of downforce, but you want to get on the throttle as early as you can, but you know you've got to wait because it's going to, well, it keeps tightening up. You know, the corner just keeps on going, especially on the exit. Oh. That lap time actually, 122.8, is actually a good lap time already. It's gonna be the benchmark for when I try to put in a faster lap time than that, obviously. So yeah, if you're a little bit confused still about this this new series, basically it's a 25-minute drive, just telling my impressions, just like we have done in the past 22 minutes, 23 even. And then after that, I will do some hot laps, and well, not record that, but then record the one which is the best hot lap, so the quickest. Then we'll see how this car is going to compare. We also have the Panels Roadster in this game, which I think is a little bit comparable to this one, you know, in terms of speed. So I don't know. It will be interesting to see and compare those lap times to each other. Although I think when you run the default specs on this car, I think it will be much closer. I think this will be faster than the Panels, to be honest. Definitely has higher top speed, I believe, but who knows, maybe the corner handling of the Panels is that much better, but I don't see it happening, to be honest. But it remains to be seen for later, perhaps. Ooh, those tires do not look very happy anymore. This might be our final lap. Let's have a look. It won't be. We will get one more lap after this one, if I don't mess up. Wow, that was very close indeed. It pretty much seems impossible to go through this corner without a drift. It really is. You need to be very smooth on the brakes, which I am not. It's like I lock my rears every single time I enter the corner. Oops, that was going to be too deep in there. it just feels like I'm locking the rear tires every time. Nice cockpit, nice interior. Once again, a very solid job by ISI, you've got to agree on that. One of the better mods, if not the best one so far. I remember the Formula Renault 3.5 mod is also a very nice mod, at least the new version is. Which was released a couple of months ago, I think. But this one is so up there. What a lot of fun. I'll do some more races with this later. Perhaps on Longford in the night with the headlights on. And that's it. That's the finish. But I think if you can approach this car the right way, it's not that aggressive, if you know what I mean. It's quite an aggressive car in general, but you've got to approach it with that right way. You've got to approach it with a little feel or of love, maybe. You know what I mean? Yeah, just approach it with a little bit of love, maybe, and it will do what you want. But look at this, nice interior. Looks very nice, actually. One of the, well, as I said before, one of the better mods in this game. Anyway, that was the talk and drive. On to the hot lap right now. Okay, so the Honda NSX is lined up and ready to go, go, go! So, the 290 brake horsepower Honda NSX is off and ready to set the first lap time, our first benchmark on the Top Gear test track, heading down into this right kink, which is turn 1, and then you brake down for the second corner, which is Wilson, as we see a little bit of well, unstableness on corner entry, but actually was a pretty smooth corner, pretty early on the throttle as well, running it out wide as much as possible. And now we enter Chicago. Very, very tough to get it slowed down. Get on the brakes, running quite wider, as you can see, and running it out wide as well, quite a bit. Luckily though, I was up by 2/10 on my previous sector time, so a very good first sector. But now we head into the hammerhead. Brake very hard on the brakes. You can see there that I just locked the brakes. Somehow managed to get it slowed down. And now keep a tight line. Get on the throttle. Careful for the oversteer. It's waiting for you there. And running it out wide again, as wide as possible. A little bit too wide, actually touching the grass. But now entering the follow through. Definitely a lift before the corner in order to get it slowed down and turned in. And still running it quite wide. Let's have a look at this shot. Great shot there as the car flies through there. Once again a little bit wide. And now we come into the final two corners, including Gambon. And it looks like I have a big oversteer moment into the corner. Somehow managed to catch that drift. And now get through the final corner. And that's a lap done over that bump. And that's a lap done. So, the Honda NSX has set our first benchmark with a 124.712. That's a good benchmark, pretty happy with that lap. Of course, it could have been better, but I was pretty happy with the lap. It was a pretty decent lap, and I'm not going to complain. Finally, a shout out to Epic Dutch Guy, link is in the description, for making this leaderboard. And we will update that as there are more cars who are going to set the lap time on the board. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like. And here you can see all the adjustments you can make to this car and the settings I have used or the configuration I have used. So once again, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, I would appreciate a like. And that is pretty much it. See you guys next time and goodbye.